Listen, this is not the move that you wanted, but it's the move that we got, all right? I think a lot of people wanted DeMar DeRozan to go to somewhere else, specifically an LA team, but he is going back to California at the very least. DeMar DeRozan, ladies and gentlemen, has signed to the Sacramento Kings. Kings have agreed to a sign and trade with DeMar DeRozan on a 3-year deal, sending Harrison Barnes to the Spurs and Chris Duarte and 2 second-round draft picks and cash to the Chicago Bulls. First of all, man, shout out to the Chicago Bulls for at least getting something back. Like I said, I think overall it is still a big L that they waited this long to offload their assets. I think, they should have done it a year ago. They should have done it at the very latest, the trade deadline. But, it's on some better late than never thing. And if you want to say it's still an L because of that, like, damn, you got DeMar DeRozan, this is all you got, then I guess I see where you're coming from. But to be honest, the Chicago Bulls, at the very least, I think this offseason is a net positive because they've at the very least chose a direction. You know what I'm saying? DeMar DeRozan is gone. Alex Caruso is gone. And that, to me, is the perfect sign that they're probably looking to move Vucevic. They're probably looking to move Lonzo. And the end of the 20-game Chicago Bulls that were crazy in those 20 games is over. Is over. But what I really wanted to talk about today, to be honest with you, is not even the Chicago Bulls. I want to talk about the Sacramento Kings. I want to talk about the Sacramento Kings because in a matter of a day, I think they have turned themselves into, at the very least, one of the winners of this offseason. And I've always said this, bro. The biggest losers of this offseason are the teams that are not making any moves, are the teams that are staying stagnant, barely making any moves. So I'm talking about the Lakers. I'm talking about the Nuggets. I'm talking about the Bucks. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Phoenix Suns. Well, the Phoenix Suns, they're kind of stuck. I ain't gonna lie. Well, a lot of these teams maybe, but the Miami Heat, but the Sacramento Kings, I didn't mention them in, when the last time I mentioned that, but I really should have, because I felt as if the reason why they didn't make the playoffs last season and the fact that the reason why they were a play-in team was because of the fact that they became stagnant in an ever-growing Western Conference, And it's just crazy because I just remember the narratives we were having about the Sacramento Kings after 2023. You know what I'm saying? After, they were third in the Western Conference. They were light the beam. They went up against the Warriors, pushed them to 7. They lost in the first round. But again, if y'all remember the conversations around the Kings at that time, it was on some, hey, man, y'all better watch out for the Kings. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the last time this ain't the last we've seen of them. You know what I'm saying? And Draymond even was going on his own podcast talking about, the Kings, they're giving me the same vibe that, the Warriors had, when we were first coming along, bro. The energy in the building, electric guard, that versatile 4, shooting, ultra off. Like, these are the conversations that were being had about the Sacramento Kings after 2023. And in 2024, they still won 46 games. I can't lie. Like, even the Warriors, bro, like, a lot of people said the Warriors had a bad season, and they did. But in, like, a vacuum sense, 46 wins is still, like, a pretty tough season. I can't lie. But nevertheless, the Sacramento Kings, though, last season did not make any moves, and I think that's the reason why, they were so low. The Oklahoma City Thunder improved. The Denver Nuggets, they were in the position to just run shit back, so I don't have a problem with them not making any moves. But even then, now we're kind of seeing the repercussions of that, right? The Minnesota Timberwolves made improvements. The LA Clippers added James Harden. The Dallas Mavericks did what they did. And added, drafted Derek Lively, added they added Kyrie Irving the season prior, but they added Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. The Phoenix Suns added Bradley Beal. That was a flop, but, that's still a move, right? The New Orleans Pelicans got Zion back. The Lakers, they are also a team that, honestly, probably did as bad because they were stagnant. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Warriors, honestly, in the same boat. They were too stagnant. So when you look at the teams that improved and had good seasons, these are teams that made moves, and the Kings did not. However, them adding DeMar DeRozan, I feel like is low-key a needle mover. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that's me being reactive, but when I look at this Kings team, I think this is a team that needed that second on-ball playmaker next to De'Aaron Fox, right? I think last season there was a little bit too much hope on Keegan Murray being that guy, and while Keegan Murray did have a solid season, just did not deliver on that to the level that he was supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Malik Monk, as great as he is, and some people, did he actually win 6 Man of the Year? He might have actually won. But yeah, he got injured going into the play-in tournament, so he didn't even play. But Malik Monk, as good as he is and as good as he's become, I don't think that's him. And De'Aaron Fox, as good as he is, he needs help. You know what I'm saying? Domantas Sabonis had a monster season to the point where you can argue that he is actually the best player on the team. But nevertheless, I think in terms of roster construction, them needing a secondary playmaker in the perimeter, a secondary shot creator in the perimeter is something that they desperately need. And I think DeMar DeRozan fits just that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this is a Kings team that's waiting 4 to 5 years down the line to have their championship window. I think this is a Kings team that believes that championship window is actually sooner rather than later with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Now, from the outside looking in, do we actually believe that as like objective fans? No. I don't think a lot of us have the Kings winning a championship in the next 4 to 5 years. But if I'm running that front office, if I am a Kings fan, the truth of the reality is this De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis core that they got right now with Keegan Murray is supposed to start winning right now. So their job right now is to maximize this core that they have right now. And I think adding DeMar DeRozan is not a bad move whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Because DeMar DeRozan just came off a season that was actually really good. Actually really good, bro. We're talking about 24 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds on 48% shooting from the field. Led the league in minutes at 34 years old is crazy. But DeMar DeRozan has never been a problem on the Chicago Bulls. You know what I'm saying? DeMar DeRozan gave the city of Chicago 3 really solid years. And every single year, in his first year, he averaged 28 points a game, was even in MVP ballots. You know what I'm saying? Made all NBA team. Second year was an All-Star again. Clutch Player of the Year, top 3. And then this season, runner-up in Clutch Player of the Year. So DeMar DeRozan, honestly, the problem with, the Chicago Bulls has always been the injuries and the construction around this team. But in terms of who DeMar DeRozan is, obviously you would want him to be a better defender. Obviously you want him to be a better shooter. But for who DeMar DeRozan is supposed to be, he's never played bad. And he really hasn't showed that much regression ever since he came to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And he even had these couple of years in San Antonio where he was running power forward, was averaging 7 assists a game. And I think the Sacramento Kings adding essentially a 24-5-5 guy is pretty big. That's pretty big, dog. I'm not going to lie. And I think for the Kings, in terms of the needle that this move for them, I'm not going to say they're better than the Thunder. I'm not going to say they're better than Denver. I'm not going to say they're better than Minnesota. But I believe in that Dallas. I'm gonna give Dallas the benefit of that. I'm not saying they're better than Dallas, but that second tier after those 4, I think the Sacramento Kings with this move push themselves towards the top of that tier. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. So we're talking about. Let me look back at last season. We're talking about the Suns, the Pelicans, the Lakers, Warriors if they come out swinging again, possibly the Clippers tier. I think the Sacramento Kings push themselves at the top of that list, and even in that tier 1 tier, maybe it's just me not being as high on Dallas as I should be. I understand they got better, but I don't know. I think the gap between the Kings and the Dallas Mavericks is closer than the Mavs to the Thunder and the Nuggets. That's just me. The Timberwolves they're still a big, I don't know, man. I don't know. The Mavs and the Wolves, I'm still having trouble exactly trying to define how good they are, even though they both made it to the Western Conference Finals. But I'm just trying to gauge how fluky it was and like how legit it was in terms of, all right, they're about to be powerhouses in the league for the next couple of years, or was it just one of those one-off Western Conference NBA Finals appearances? I don't know. We'll see. Is that me being on dick? I apologize if I am, but that's just where I'm sitting at. I ain't gonna lie. But the Sacramento Kings, shout out to the Sacramento Kings, man. That's a big move for them. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Is this a needle mover for y'all? Is it not? I personally think it's an underrated signing that no one is really talking about, even after it happened, because, again, everyone just wanted DeMar DeRozan to go to, like, a sexy team like the Lakers or even the Clippers, or the Sixers, or, you know, one of those teams. But the Kings still aren't in that class for a lot. Or Golden State, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool, though. With that being said, I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.